A rather interesting topic in terms of visualization. Let's talk about CEV perception levels. So CEV stands for closed-eyed visualization, and then we have perception levels. So what we're talking about is when we are in, or how we apply this is when we are in ritual or doing spell work and such, and we close our eyes and we are able to picture our outcome or picture certain things that allow us to access the energy that we are looking to manipulate, and then form it into what we want to have happen through the spell work, and then make it happen through the ritual. So there are several levels to this, and the first one, ironically, is not exactly close-eyed. And I've noticed this particular one, like if you go outside and it's a perfectly blue sky, right? And if you happen to look at the sky, don't look at the sun. Don't be stupid. Don't be a sun gazer. But if you look at the sky and just kind of unfocus your eyes a little bit, just kind of relax them a little bit, like, huh? It's easy to do because it's now 5:10 a.m. and I've been up since I've only had like an hour of sleep. So that's very easy for me to do right now. But if you relax your eyes, you start to see little movements of little lines, little dots, right? And you might actually even experience this when you have your eyes closed when you are going to sleep. You might see little moving dots. I remember as a kid actually being scared of them at one point, but then I learned that's like, oh, those things show up right before I fall asleep. Did see them tonight. Didn't fall asleep though, so that sucks. So the next level up of visualization is light and dark flashes. So, let me know in the comments if you guys have experienced any of these. Be like level 1, level 2. Yeah. Um, but if you close your eyes, and you tend to see this a little bit more, especially when you begin practicing, if you are kind of looking with a light source, not directly at a light source, because that can kind of be intense, but maybe off to the corners or something. But you'll start to see little, at least for me anyway, and let me know if you have a similar experience or how yours is different. But you start to see little shapes that kind of ebb and flow and move. It's almost like looking at water in a way. So you might see like a little circle kind of go across your vision, right? Or you'll see just a wave go across. And what you'll find is if you focus on these, then you watch it, you might be able to mentally cause one to start, cause one to go up from the corner this way, or across this way, and then see if you can start to manipulate them to go up or down, right? Play around with them. Just will it to happen and like look over in the corner and just move your eyes to kind of train how they move around, because you're playing around with what your brain is interpreting with your eyes closed, because your brain is used to interpreting stuff with your eyes open. So the next level up is patterns, motion, and color, right? So this is actually when I started to research this kind of thing, I was thinking back to my own experiences, and I've always kind of seen those things in color. So the majority of time, I've usually seen them in like yellows and reds when I close my eyes. So I guess I kind of exist at like a level 3 usually. If I close my eyes and when I go to like meditate, or I'm in my temple space and doing like rituals and spell work and stuff such. But this is what a lot of people experience when they have psychedelic drugs and stuff, from the research that I've done, where they start, these motions and things that happen behind your eyelids tend to take on a color. And there's even one book I think that I have. I know it's by Constantinos, right? It's either I think it might be Nocturnal Witchcraft, but I'm not sure. When he talks about, there's a visualization exercise that he talks about where you try to close your eyes and you see like yellow in a corner, green in another corner, blue in another corner, red in another corner, right? And through enough focus and practice with just seeing what your eyes see with your eyes closed, you can kind of will that to happen. You focus on that corner and you try to think of what blue looks like, and then those waves will eventually take on that blue color or yellow or green or red or what have you. And so what we are doing is we're not only like at the base, we notice that we see something with our eyes closed. Then we're trying to shape it. Now we're trying to add color, right? So these are our building blocks. So then when we are doing this and we have our eyes closed, then like I said, start noticing if they take on a certain color. Like mine would take on, I'd obviously see the black, and then it would kind of go to a white, and then it would change to a different color as I would focus on it. It goes from like black to a gray to a white and then to a yellow, and then I started practicing with, okay, let's try to make that from like yellow to green, and then I can go from green to blue. Try to follow like a like a color map ish, like go along the color wheel, with what colors kind of are next to other colors on a color wheel. You guys can Google what a color wheel looks like if you're not familiar with with the ebb and flow of colors, I guess you could say. And then level 4 is objects and things, and this is where stuff really starts to get fun. So when you practice with this kind of stuff enough, or if you enter a deep state of meditation, like when you practice with this enough, you don't have to enter a deep state of meditation to access this level. If you are very practiced with visualization, this will be something you can just go to because you have trained your brain to get there. It's what I can do with my visualizations and stuff, which I think is part of what makes my personal magic powerful. That's why in a lot of, like, even the Necronomicon spellbook, you have to visualize what your end game is, what your goal is, right? So when you close your eyes and you see those shapes and those colors, you immediately start to form them into something. It's almost like, it goes from non-material to material. So if you have light, then it's kind of a smoky thing that you turn into a shape, and then you start to define it. So what you want to do is think about what you want to see. Build it from the ground up. If it's a scene, start with the floor, start with the furniture, start with, like, if you're trying to picture a person or something, start with a piece of clothing that you can really picture, or maybe their face, and start to form it. Take your time with, describing to yourself, like, what the hair looks like. Okay, there's the color. I'm going to form that. I'm going to focus on it. And this might take a really, really long time for some of you that are practicing this. So start with level 1, with noticing what your eyes see, and then build it up from the shapes to the colors, or the waves to the colors, and then the shapes, and being able to picture these solid objects. And I do find that it kind of helps if you're practicing this kind of stuff, where like you look at a design or like a shape that's in your external vision, and then you close your eyes and think about that shape, and those ebbs and flows from behind your eyelids will take that shape with enough practice, will, and intent, right? So you can open your eyes, and then the physical world is there, and then you can close your eyes and try to picture it again, and then open it and close it. Like I'm staring at House of Leaves over here, the book, and I can see it's kind of at an angle, and if I close my eyes, I can see the shape, and I just start to form those waves around it. So you're really building what that external shape looks like from what's already going on behind your eyes. We have to use the tools available to us, and if this is how our brains work in terms of what it perceives with our eyes closed, then we use that and we start from square one and we move our way up. So level 5, which is the next level up, is when we override our physical perception. So this is mostly useful if you are completely doing a ritual in the mental or astral planes, if you are journeying, if you are for tulpamancers and such, interacting in your own mental space, or even exploring your own mental space through a thought exercise. Like you can picture if you're exploring your mind, picture it like a house and walk through that house and open the doors and see what's in there. That's a very interesting exercise. Let me know in the comments if you want me to explore that a little bit, because that's a technique that I use to kind of go through my own thoughts and stuff. If you've ever seen the movie that's based off of Stephen King's Dreamcatcher with the Memory Warehouse, that'll kind of give you a clue on that, even though technically the Memory Warehouse isn't even in the book, and the ending of the movie is completely different from the book, but other than that, it's pretty spot on as a movie. But I'm getting off topic here. So when we are overriding physical perceptions, you are hijacking the brain, right? So when we are in REM sleep, rapid eye movement sleep, when we dream, we get a bypass, like around the thalamus, I guess, where that's why dreams can feel real. We're walking, we're talking, we're moving, we're touching things in our dreams, right? Through the use of psychedelic drugs, or um, very very practiced meditators and people that get into deep relaxation states when you do astral travel or you're in your mental plane or you're doing journeying or something like that. Um, if you are in that deep enough state when you are doing things outside of your physical self, let's say, you can actually feel yourself doing it. So if you're moving around and you're touching objects, or you're opening doors, or you're walking through the grass, or you happen to walk by a tree and you touch a tree, all in here, or could it be out there? But those kinds of experiences is when we are hijacking the brain and tricking it into feeling perceptions not with our physical body, because our body knows, like my body knows what touching a table feels like, right? So if I hijack my brain, like if I go and meditate and I picture myself coming down here and then I picture myself touching the pool table that the laptop's on right now, my brain already knows what that feels like. I just have to call that up. But my brain is confused. The hand's not touching a table. Oh yes it is. Oh yes it is. Which is kind of reinforced by my ability to visualize it and effectively bypassing that gatekeeper of normal perception and tricking your brain in a way to feel that. What is real? It's electrical signals interpreted by your brain. Thanks, Morpheus. So that's effectively what level 5 is. So as you work your way up these different levels, you are going to be able to experience the mental plane and the astral planes more. So kind of figure out where you are on those different levels and then work your way up and practice it. Like I said, there's books by Constantinos that have exercises that I used way back in the day when I was learning this stuff, and it was cool to do this research to see it categorized. And I always like things that are kind of in a scope and sequence, as they say in education, where it's building blocks. Nobody got to the top of a mountain by falling there. They worked their way up. They climbed their way up. And in terms of experiencing things in your mind or in the astral planes, and even visualizing things and being able to experience things, you start with level 1 and you work your way up. So I'm probably going to take the list of these levels of CEV, and I will put it as a post in my Magickology group, either before, around the time, or after this video comes out. So if you guys aren't a part of my Magickology YT group on Facebook, then find my Magickology YT page and you can request entry into the group, because we tend to share a lot of good stuff on there. So, connect with me on all my social media. You guys can check out my books and all this other stuff. So check out all of those, all that info and those links and stuff at the end of this video, right after this, and in the description below. And let me know what you guys think about all this and where you are on your journey of being able to visualize. What level are you? Good hunting. Thanks for watching my video. So if you want to check out my playlists, I have, among others, the Simon Necronomicon, the Tree of Life, General Magic, Tulpamancy, a playlist on my books, the elements, stones, the theories that govern magic, and the gods and goddesses of Mesopotamia. If you want to check out my books on Amazon, I have Creating Consciousness, Magical Mechanics, Magical Theater, Handy Sigil Magic, Magical Movement, which is an update and expansion upon Handy Sigil Magic, Magical Mastery, which is a combination masterwork of Magical Theater and Magical Mechanics, and The Guide to the Spheres and Beyond. You can also find me on Facebook at Magickology YT. You can email me at priestofthenecro@gmail.com, and you can even check out my Instagram, which is Magickology. And good hunting.